History students, I want to talk with you just a minute about note taking, and I want to show you a feature in Canvas that I want to try to use. But it's going to look a little bit weird because this is one of those features that looks completely different on your end than it does on my end. And the little device I have for student view doesn't really show me. So you're not going to see it, kind of. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Let's talk about note taking though. There's two types of note taking for this particular course: the notes that you're taking in class and the notes that you're taking over your readings. And you really want to get into the habit of taking good notes so that you're able to remember the material and so that you're able to better refer to the material later on. And I used to work with the late, great Professor Richard Moore here at this college. And Richard would judge people. And I'm not talking about students, I'm talking about his colleagues, by whether or not they took notes at a meeting. Because for him, it was a sign of seriousness. It's like, oh, they didn't care. They didn't even write any of that down. So you guys think about that. You're going to want this as an ability in the job market later on. An employer is going to send you to a meeting and say, I need you to come back and, whatever, let me know what goes on, what happened at the meeting. And they expect you to have the ability to take those notes down. I mean, the idea that, well, they didn't give me any PowerPoints, that's probably not going to cut it, right? So, but I also know that it's tricky. So I've got one idea here about trying to help you with your notes for the course and the other for the readings. Let's start with the readings. In general, you should have a quarter of a page of notes for any particular reading. Be active about it. If it's more than that, that's great. But, go to my video on setting up the first chapter, how to use the book, to kind of see what those, questions are. But take the notes. What's up with the document? It's also a good spot to take notes to help you think about what kind of question you might want to answer for your first formal essay. And those questions are already up. And some students in the past have found that looking at those questions early and thinking about them alters the way they take notes about things. Okay, that's your book notes. We can talk more about that later. Let me talk to you a little bit about your class notes. You guys should be taking class notes, and I know that can be tricky, but you want to work on it. And one of the, I suppose, few areas in which I offer extra credit is for posting your class notes. Okay? Now, extra credit with me is like running a deal with the mob. I'm not promising any points. All I'm promising is at the end of the semester, I'll look to see who's posted notes, and I'll look to see at the quality of some of those notes, and put me in a position where I should give you extra consideration. I know it's vague, but I like it that way. Let me show you where these notes go. All right, now this is the part. Let me get that little bubble off there. There we go. This is the part that is going to be a little bit tricky for you guys to see. I'm under the impression that over here in this blue area here, you guys have something that says something like groups. So if you click on groups, maybe you have to click on something once you're inside there. Maybe you have to click on this class. I don't know. Somebody confirm that. But if you click on groups and maybe this class, then you should run into something that looks something like this notes by peers here. Okay, there should be something in there that says notes by peers, and it takes you to, I doubt it even looks like this. Yeah, I gotta go kind of crazy to get to it. You get to the home page, And I gotta go up here to the top. Oh, now where do I have to go? Oh, pages. There we go. All right. So when you get to this page, and again, I hope it's easier for you to get to than it is for me. There is a thing about how to take and post notes. There's a little video here. I didn't shoot it, found it on the internet. Is it the end all be all to note taking videos? No, but it's okay. And inside this, somewhere on yours, there'll be a thing that has these organized setups for posting notes. We got a little carried away with things last week and I didn't do it, but these should function basically as wikis. And so at the beginning of a class, I'll ask, is there a student who would like to post some notes for extra credit? We'll get an official note taker. And then you just click in this thing and post it, and everybody should have access to this to edit it, clean it up. Now, a couple of things about this. I know right away some of y'all are not crazy about posting your notes, either because you don't think your notes are very good, or you think that if people who want good notes, they should write them down themselves. Well, I totally agree with that. However, I also think that sometimes it can be useful for folks who've never really seen what good notes look like to actually get a chance to look at them. And I think that it makes, for me, it makes it really nice to be able to get a sense about what students got out of the talk, what students got out of any particular class session. And then the other thing about it is that if you contribute to the notes, you shouldn't have any hesitancy in utilizing the notes if for some reason you miss a class or something. Now, of course, all of our Zoom classes, if the technology works, will be recorded at least for a couple of weeks. But the notes are a way to where you can catch up, or you can just compare it and see what other people thought. So I'm really encouraging you guys to do that. I'll talk to you. I hope you can find it easier than I can. And then I'll get in there and I'll just kind of try to set it up each week. That's all I got on notes. You guys take them.